Are there any drummers in the house?
I play percussion.
That's because he couldn't play anything else.
Shut up.
Come here, dude.
Hey, man. Did you touch my drum set?
Nope.
It's just weird, because seems like someone definitely touched my drum set.
Yeah, that is weird. 'Cause I didn't touch them.
I am warning you right now, if you touch my drums, I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Drumheads Podcast. My name is Daniel, and this is episode 67 with Daniel, and he is, you guys might have seen this guy. It's the guy that dresses up in the T-Rex suit, Ralph the Rex. Yeah, that guy is awesome. So I kind of reached out to him on Instagram and said, hey, I'd love to have you on the show, because I came across him just flipping through Instagram one day, and it was him playing like little drum set to like Master of Puppets, and I just thought it was so hilarious. I reposted it to the feed, and I think he followed me, which was really cool because I was like, oh my gosh, look. And my wife's like, who's following you? I'm like, Ralph the Rex. She's like, you're so dumb. And I'm like, no, this is so cool. But anyways, yes, we had a delightful conversation over Skype, just talking about how he came up with the idea of doing like these skits and bits with the T-Rex suit, and just, the importance of like how comedic it is, and how like, it's easy just to put the suit on and just like kind of just bumble around, but you have to have like comedic timing. So we talked about like old SNL skits and like Happy Gilmore, like physical comedy, Three Stooges, stuff like that. And we also talked about drums because he is he plays drums, for more of a hobby. But I think it's great to have like a little break from just talking about drums and like drumming and all that, and, dive into something that everybody can appreciate, which is a guy dressed up in a T-Rex suit just having fun. So here it is, episode 67 with Daniel, or aka Ralph the Rex. Rawr. Oh yeah, and be sure to buy raffle tickets to our giveaway we're doing, or I should say the raffle that I'm not doing. It's a giveaway that the guys from Ezra Percussion and West Coast Drum Supply have put together. Some phenomenal drum companies putting out some drums to raffle. So we got drums from A&F Drum Company, Ezra, 1710 Percussion, Predator Percussion, Salt Drums. We got Sweet Spot Clutches. We got some Big Fat Snare Drums. We've got... Am I forgetting anybody? I don't think so, but yeah, there's a ton of great stuff you can raffle on. It's a raffle for $10, so $10 buys you into the raffle. You can buy as many times as you like. I encourage you to buy a bunch of them, because it's going to be a great way to support the podcast. And so I think thank you everybody who has bought one thus far. You guys are awesome. So here it is, episode 67 with Ralph the Rex. See you guys. Alright guys, welcome back to the Drumhead Podcast, and I am joined by a very special person. My kids love watching this channel on Instagram. It is Daniel, and he is also known as Ralph the Rex. How are you, Daniel?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Yep, that's it. Also known as Ralph the Rex. This is my first interview as a human, so I'm very honored to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I wasn't sure if I should be like, and here's Ralph, start like roaring or something, but but yeah, I really appreciate you being on, because like I said, my kids love watching your channel, or I guess you would say it's a channel on Instagram.
It is, yeah. It started out as a channel on Instagram, and now it's moved slowly to Facebook and YouTube. But originally started out as a channel on Instagram, and then from there, as it kind of got bigger, it sort of blew up into other channels, which sort of helped and hurt me there in the beginning.
Yeah. It's a weird like technological landscape when it comes to like social media. It's like it's always trying to figure it out. Every day is like trying to figure it out. Some days,
exactly.
Some days you think you got it, and the other days you're like, oh, am I doing this right? So.
That's exactly. I go through videos and see some of them and wonder, is someone going to like this? Are people going to hate me? Are they all going to leave after one, if I post this? Or, But it turns out to be the latter, thankfully, that most people are really well received with all the content.
Yeah. Well, and probably people are wondering, like, why are we having a guy that dresses up in a, dinosaur outfit on a podcast about drums. And you know, what I love about technology is I found your video just like scrolling through, and it's like videos you may like, and it was you playing Metallica. You know, I'm like, that is so awesome. This is right down my alley. And you know, I think I reposted it, and it just like blew up, and I'm like, I gotta get this guy on because this guy has a sense of humor I appreciate.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yeah, I got the. I'm glad that popped up on the suggested too. That makes me feel good.
Oh yeah.
But, so I got that influence though. My uncle is actually James Hetfield from Metallica, so that's where I got the influence there to start playing on the drums. I could send him that, and then it started to blow up, so he enjoyed that a lot.
Oh, that's awesome. So are you a drummer? As a hobbyist, or just kind of just like milling around in the on the kit?
I started when I was in 7th grade. My dad's been a drummer his whole life and a singer. Mm-hmm. So, and growing up, going to concerts too, I've always been around music, and I absolutely love it. I mean, completely passionate about it. But I started in 7th grade, and I kind of just play sort of for fun now. Haven't really gotten into anything serious. I always like to at least, keep my mind off doing things. A very busy life, but that's sort of like my release. So to say, but I've been playing for about 10 to 15 years, not really professionally or anything at all, but just sort of as something to do as a hobby on the side, just because I'm so involved in it. I love doing it.
That's cool. I was, because I could tell you, when I watched that video for the first time that you had some drumming skills, because pulling off Metallica is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And so we'll talk about Ralph the Rex in a sec, but I kind of want to just talk about drums for a minute.
Yeah.
So who was the first kind of drummer you kind of influenced by?
The first one, I would have to say who I really liked. I loved, I enjoyed Travis Barker growing up in Blink-182. I heard that on a previous podcast with Jessica also.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Listening to her say that, and that's what I was listening. Like, yeah, that's kind of right. When I was growing up, I used to love listening to them. Obviously, some Metallica, and I would say Joey Jordison from Slipknot was the first real drummer I really loved and was into and following everything that he did. His whole style there of just as fast as you can go and as hard as you can go.
But very technically proficient as well. I remember I think I was in like 10th grade when Slipknot came out. That was like 99, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it was around that time.
Yeah, and I remember that was like a breath of fresh air in the metal scene because it was all like Limp Bizkit, and I loved Korn, but they were kind of getting a little tamer. And then Slipknot just came out, and I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. So your dad being a drummer, did he try to like influence you like with good drummers that he loved as well, or were you kind of like, I don't want to hear your suggestions?
Well, we had never had a drum kit when I was growing up until I got one for me. So he had always wanted to have, like a drum set, and I was getting into it. I was like, hey, Dad, I want to buy a kit, 7th grade, get it as a birthday present. And I loved it. And then he started playing, Jimi Hendrix, all the classic ones. He used to be in bands growing up too. But that was sort of once we got the kit there, I started, learning from him, watching him play, because he could already play and I was learning. I couldn't do anything. So I went and got lessons, and now he's starting to take some stuff from me as I got more of an opportunity to work on my drumming skills and everything. But he's been influenced by like Hendrix and the Who and all those old classic bands. And that's sort of his style there.
Oh, okay. Did he play a lot of that music growing up?
Yes,
he did.
He did. Yeah, they played. He was in a cover band called The Bitter End, and so they did a bunch of covers from Hendrix and others. I forget the names of them, but it was a core, 10 to 12 songs that they would cover there.
Oh, nice. Well, it's funny because when I interview people, I always kind of like to see if the parents like had any influence. Like my dad kind of liked classic rock, but he was more of like a construction kind of guy. Worried about work and. But it's interesting to see like the different parallels between the drummers who had like musical families and then like people like me who kind of had just kind of a musical family,
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to see those two different things. And so did you do school band or anything like that, or is it just garage bands?
It was just garage. I never did school band. I had a couple buddies in high school that did were in the band, playing some guitar, a couple drum line. But we did one for a music class. We ended up covering Pantera, I'm Broken. We played that from Pantera. Then we played Master of Puppets, and it was 2 songs, but it was just like the greatest thing ever because we were loving it. We got to practice, do it all because none of us had been in a band and gotten to put it together. But we were all passionate about the music, so that was a highlight there. But that was the beginning and end of my career as far as playing in a band.
Well, hey, that's a lot longer than some people have. Some people quit after a year or two. So. And it's good to hear that you still have it as a hobby. You have that thing to fall back onto to kind of like you said, kind of free your mind and, just relax,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, in bad mood, good mood, you go up, play for half hour, whatever, get a little workout in, sitting around, editing, doing stuff like that all day. So I mean, I absolutely love it. I'm glad I can still play decent. If I have buddies over, they'll play guitar, bring it over. But it's still nice to have that as a hobby and not be frustrated anymore with trying to sound like an actual musician.
Yeah. Well, and if people aren't familiar with Ralph the Rex, how would you describe that to somebody who's maybe not heard of it yet? How would you describe what you do?
I would say, I'm trying to just bring humor, love, positive vibes into the world here with the T-Rex costume on. It was also a little source of income while I had, lost my job and everything. But going back to what you're saying, what I would describe it as, all I say is, hey, have you seen those inflatable T-Rex costumes? And they go, oh, no, I know what you're talking about. Most people haven't heard Ralph the Rex, or if I say it, they kind of give you a weird look, throw them off a little bit. But I would just describe it as that's what I say, a T-Rex trying to make it in a human world.
That's perfect.
That's the tagline for it.
Nice. Well, so how did that come about? You just bought a T-Rex suit and just decided to start doing funny sketches, or just for your own humor, or were you trying to market it, I guess you could say?
It was just when I had my job where I was working a corporate job, and we needed a Halloween costume, for our Halloween party and everything. And so, everyone's like, I don't want to dress up or this or that. So I figured we get a costume or something. And I actually saw, what was it? Pickles the T-Rex was the very first video ever on YouTube, I believe. And so he's running across a big, bounce house, running around, acting all goofy. And I just about lost it in my workplace. And so I said, this one is going to be this costume for me. I'm already known for being kind of the weird one, I guess, around the office, so to say, but this would be, right on par. And so I bought it. We did a couple videos. Actually, the first one I did was out on the golf course because I was working for the PGA at the time. We had a golf outing, and so took a swing out there with it on, missed the ball nearly, went straight sideways. Couldn't have gone any more perfect without being scripted. And that kind of started the whole thing. People caught on. It was catching on social media. I was like, oh, I got a following now, but nothing came of it. And then if you're familiar with the T-Rex taking on Santa, so when we were beating up the Christmas ornaments outside, and then that was actually my dad coming out of my sister's house, chasing us away on the truck. My cousins are driving it away. It was a whole family affair. When we get together, we used to make these videos for the first couple months.
Oh, okay, nice.
And
cool.
So from there, when that one blew up, that was when everything sort of got the ball rolling for me.
Nice. So, comedic timing is very important. And I'm a huge, stand-up comedy fan. My dad was a big Three Stooges. He loved, we loved watching anything that was like an SNL movie and sketches where there's a lot of physical comedy. Did you have that growing up as well?
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite scenes is I remember the Blazing Saddles. I know that movie isn't exactly the most family friendly or whatever, but the scene where they're sitting around the campfire eating the beans, and all of them are just farting everything.
Yeah,
we used to play that over and over as a kid. My dad would just let me watch that one part of the movie, and I would just sit there rolling laughing. And so between those, the Three Stooges also got to watch them, but I absolutely loved that growing up. Happy Gilmore, all of those. Happy Gilmore's my favorite.
you're speaking my language now because I'm a huge movie nerd, and with everything that's going on in the world, I've been kind of a little down. So I'm like, I've been just watching these old '90s comedies where it's a lot of physical comedy, and it just makes you laugh. And sometimes you just need that good laugh. And that's what I love about your feed, because I could be flipping through drums. There you, oh my God, look at that! And I just have that little moment to myself, and everybody looks at me at my office like, "What is he laughing about?" And I'm like, "Oh, you got to see this!" And they're like, they're like they're a little bit older, and I'm like, "This is so. Why are you not laughing?" And they're like, "It's funny, I guess." I'm like, "No." And then I'll show it to like my actual friends, and they're like just dying, So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you always need that. Like you say, watch Happy Gilmore. Every once in a while it comes on TV or something. It's something you can't not watch once you get going. Like you're gonna roll on the floor no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's I love that. It's got that, I guess, nostalgic feeling to it a little bit. But always that laugh that you can go back to, where you just kind of escape there for a couple minutes or however long. And that's what I try to incorporate in my videos, giving someone a minute or two of their day that they can laugh and sort of forget all the stuff in the world going on, like you're talking about, how crazy it is nowadays, and something that's humor, that's not, looking for a reaction or anything. It's just good old fashioned humor.
Yeah. But, and then, watching now that you can put on, minute long segments on Instagram, like you guys going through the grocery store in Colorado, it's just, I wish more people just, would take a minute and just, because some places you'd probably be shot, if you're like, what's this guy in a T-Rex suit, roaming around the, the grocery store for, where, that grocery store's like, yeah, let's bring him in and let's, create this cool vibe. And I think we just need that more, as in a culture, and then also just online, just to have that moment. So how did those moments come about where you're in like Colorado, in the grocery store?
Those ones, so that one there was for Colorado Proud, the Department of Agriculture. They contacted us to come out there and do a series of videos. It was, we had a blast. That was one of the best times of my life. First time traveling for, a costume or mascot or anything at all. So we didn't know what to expect. But everything was so great. They had no problem with anything in the day of sue happy and liability, this and that. They were just gung-ho for it all. And I run into so many liability issues in California.
Oh yeah,
with people. Sure. Like when we went to Whole Foods was the first time, that, not to bash them or anything, but we ran like we couldn't sit in a cart, we couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and there was a lot of obstacles to work around, which we do and make it happen. But like when we went to Colorado, it was just like, here, do whatever you want. Here's some produce, here's this, here's that. Have fun. Let us know what we need to do to film for you guys.
You're like, sweet. This is
exactly. Yeah. So it was so much. Yeah, exactly. So can I touch this? Can I touch that? They kind of look at you like, what are you talking about? Like, you're here to do that,
That's funny. It's like, you get like free range. You're like, I don't know what to do with myself, Yeah.
What do I do with my hands? That's it.
I'm so used to getting yelled at by some manager. Hey, put the corn down, and now you're like, should I touch the corn? Yes, no, and yeah. It's always a good thing. So
that is a Go ahead.
So is it you? It's you and obviously other people. Is it your friends or family that are also in the other suits when you're doing like when you're at the trampoline place and you're just bouncing around? Do you just rope in some friends to do that?
Yeah. So the early videos were my family members, my cousins that were in it. And some of my family would help out, but as everything got busy and trying to get people, it's normally I got about two or three friends that will do it, pretty much on a moment's notice, which I'm so thankful for that they'll do that. And then sometimes if it's something specialized, let's say Sky Zone, for example, it was me and 4 managers in there, so all 4 managers dressed up, and they're like, "Yeah, we want to be a part of this. We love the videos. Half the people want to dress up in a suit when you get there. That's the big thing."
I bet.
You get there, we're going to go from, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. At 7 p.m., you've got 3 people trying on costumes running around over here, and we're trying to corral everyone. But it's normally that if it's a specialized skill, when we were jumping the horse, one of my friends, Janelle, she's a English writer, so she was like, "Yeah, I'll put it on. We'll see, as long as I don't die." And
yeah, or like the juggler. That was pretty cool.
Yes, Josh Horton, who's very well known now. He's an amazing juggler. He put it on and was like, "Hey, I'll juggle fire in the suit, juggle knives. You can barely see out of that thing."
Yeah.
I was like, "Go for it, buddy." But yeah, I'll use some people like that have those skills, and I'm sort of the background at that point. And they'll be the main focus. But for any other ones, it's normally just a couple friends I have go around who just love doing it, enjoy being a part of it, and you know, get a kick out of seeing, hey, you got, you know, so many views, or just to show their friends, type of deal.
Yeah. So so when you do like these trips to like Colorado, it's pretty much them calling you and saying, hey, we'd like you to do such and such, or do you call them and like, hey, you know, if you're ever wanting to promote, use me. You know, what is it usually the other one where they're calling you?
I'm normally getting called from places. If there's anywhere I really want to go to, like Sky Zone, I wanted to go to, no one had done it. Like, I want to do this. I'll reach out and say, hey, can I come do this? You know, in exchange for a tag, you know, post this and that. There's a lot of leverage there, which is nice. The more fans you gain, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Your reach and everything. Colorado reached out to me through a friend knew. They actually were talking about it at their boardroom table, and one of my friends worked there.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of surreal at that time, you know, to think about that. Hey, people are talking about me, and they know who I am, and that. So that was really neat. But 90% of it, they reach out. If I really need content or really need to do something that's awesome, that's, you know, something that's local and easy, then I'll just reach out to them, say, hey, can I do this? We'll tag you guys and go shoot the video there, and it ends up being, you know, a win for everybody.
Yeah. So so is this your full-time job, or do you have another full-time gig that you do as well?
This is not. I'm very, very busy. So I have this. I count this as a job. I'm a golf professional normally.
Oh, okay.
So I've been in golf for about 10 years now. But so I work over at a local golf course in the area, and then I'm also getting my master's in sports management at Long Beach State. So I have to have internships as well.
Oh, okay.
So I do an internship at OC Ramps, a skateboard building warehouse, work at the golf course part-time, do this whatever spare time I have, and go to school.
That sounds like a lot. I'm like, gosh, I thought I did a lot. And I'm like, no, this dude's got me. This dude's got me. Yeah.
It's not fun all the time, but I mean, it's what gets the job done, you know, gets the bills paid and everything. That's all I can do is keep grinding.
And then when it comes to, you know, when you're doing your, for less of a word, you know, sketches or whatever, do you kind of like write out like what you're going to do, or you kind of just improv it when you know, you get like the base idea, like, hey, we're going to go to like a skateboard park and then we'll do X, Y, and Z, or you'll just go to the skateboard park and just film what happens?
It's normally, I would say, a lot of it's improv. We have a general layout of what we want to do. So we'll, you know, scope a spot. Would this look good? What can we do? Sort of walk through the site when we get there. But it only takes about 15 or 20 minutes, because by the time we're shooting the first scene or the second scene, if it's a multiple take thing, you've already got, you know, 6 or 7 other ideas as you're doing those for later, and it just balloons into this big cloud of ideas by the end of the night. And that's, I mean, that's something that's great about it too, is, you know, a lot of it's just improv. It's, hey, let's do this. Oh, that would look funny this way. Let's do it that way. And then you're sort of collaborating on the spot, and it's just, and everyone's, you know, throwing in ideas that they want, and then you come out with a way better product than if it's scripted. I mean, scripted is great, and I love it, but then the more you can improv or throw something in, something unexpected that happens, that's where you get those, you know, like the laugh factor out of it, where, you know, people are dying, you're laughing in the suit and all that, and that's the best part about it.
And you know, and it also goes back to like your gestures and stuff like that. You know, the thing that always gets me is when like something like an accident happens and you've knocked something over and you're doing the, you know, with your hands. Every time gets me. It's just something about that's just so funny, and it just adds just, you know, those little touches. I think that's very important. You know, when you watch something like that, you see those little small moments of hilarity. You know, and to be honest, I don't think there's some people, you know, oh, it's just putting on a suit. There's more than just putting on the suit. You're actually acting, I guess you could say, you know, for more. You know, and you're, you know, if you're one to act like you had a surprise or you did something, adding that clap makes the skit completely different if there was no clap or a funny gesture or posture or something like that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you noticed that too, because
yeah,
we've tried to pride ourselves on the little things like that. You know, the claps, we call the happy clap now.
The happy clap, I like that.
It just kind of started from seeing those memes. They say if you're happy, you know it, clap here, and it's and the dinosaur's sad because he can't clap his hands. So you gotta, you know, stay true to your inner dinosaur there and make the, you know, the small claps. That's all the reach that you got. Yeah. And that's what we try to do with those details is, you know, keep the arms in the costume, don't overextend them, so someone, you know, kind of lose the imagination there a little bit.
Yeah, someone's definitely, they'd like, oh, that's just, it looks kind of fake. But, have you ever had like any like bad reactions when they're like, people ask you, hey, come in and do this, and they're like, no, stop what you're doing, or has it been pretty positive?
It's been positive 99% of the time.
Okay, good.
The only, I'd say, the kids, they either love you or hate you. That's it. So the little kids will either go crying and screaming and running away and get so scared, and you feel terrible, or they love you. But all the videos I've been to, I've never had one problem at all with someone, saying, hey, you're done, or this or that. I mean, Whole Foods would be the only one I could say where one of my buddies took a box of cookies and was taking them around the store. And next thing you know, you hear a crash and someone's like, uh-oh, no, what happened? They go, well, come around the corner, there's 24 boxes of cookies on the floor. Yeah. And he's on his hands and knees trying to eat them and while they're filming this, and there's the workers just giving us the death glare like, I think you guys are done now. Yeah. Shut it down. But I mean, yeah. Because I was watching that, because I have one of those brains that likes to pick apart things and, find out the mechanics of how it works. And I'm like, I wonder if they've ever gotten in trouble. It's like, oh crap, there's the law, we gotta go, or no. Yeah, that's the only part I would say, and it's even in a controlled environment still, so it's not like, it's a couple boxes of cookies. If you guys want me to buy them, I'll buy them, but we've never had no run-ins with the law yet, thankfully. We were running around downtown Long Beach one time for the Grand Prix, and my buddy was running across the street onto the island and the median when it's jam-packed. It's like any downtown bar area. And so a cop comes up and he sticks his head in the window and walks away, and at that point we're like, you're on your own, buddy, like you're going to jail in a T-Rex costume tonight, which good luck. Would be bad, but yeah. Well, I mean, you could totally get away with it where I live, because it's like I don't know if you're familiar with Asheville, North Carolina at all, are you? I've never been to North Carolina. Okay. It's like San Francisco where I live. At this part of it's like San Francisco, so it's like super liberal, like artsy, doesn't kind of care kind of attitude. So you could walk around my downtown perfectly fine, and do whatever. But it's I could see where if you lived in somewhere that's more stringent, you could run into some issues. But you're in Long Beach, so you're in Los Angeles County, right? Yeah, I'm up. North Orange County, but it's all everything's so close together here, so it's all the same. Yeah, it all runs together. Thing. Yeah. So you have a little bit more freedom, I guess you could say, to do that. Your stuff out there without getting in too much trouble. Yeah. They deal with, you deal with a ton of, drunk people, whatever, people acting like clowns out there. So it's like, if you don't find any humor in this and we're not causing any problems or any damage, you got another problem there. Yeah, for sure. Do your neighbors, they're like, oh, there's Daniel in the dinosaur suit again doing something, do they ever just like, ugh, this guy in his suit, or are they pretty cool? All of them are awesome. My neighbors, I don't make a lot of noise, so they're okay with it. They love it. I mean, they're pretty, excited about it. If I need help, I'll ask a couple of them, hey, can you film this or that? Or they'll just ask me how it's going. When I'm in my backyard, there's a kind of a drop off that goes, it's a view to the other side of the street and houses and stuff. So I'll be in the backyard, and all of a sudden you just kind of see people standing out in the fence, just wondering what's going on. Because you could see from across a ways away, and all of a sudden it's like, what is it? There's a T-Rex in that backyard, and you just hear like kids chattering or things going on. Splash. Like, oh, he's in the pool again. Yep. What are you doing over there? Now, with the pool, how do you not drown in that suit? Because you'd think you'd start taking in water and be like, oh no, or is it pretty easy to get out of? It's a definite possibility. Because you literally, when you get in the costume, you have the short arms. I mean, you can extend them, but so it floats, which is odd, but it does. So when you swim in there, it'll float, and you just kind of have to sort of wiggle and dog paddle or spaz out a little bit so you get facing the right way to put your feet on the ground or get out of it. But the worst part about that is there's no give in the front of the suit because it's a little plastic cover on the face.
Yeah.
So when you dive in, there's no give like the water. You go straight into the water. You just stop, and it's just a smack.
Oh, like almost like a belly flop. Yeah.
Yes. So you come out of there, you got a nice little red mark on the side of your face or something. You're just like, what just happened? I jumped, 2 feet, looking like I just took a dive off the roof or something.
Yeah. How long do you typically try to stay in the suit? Like, do you have like a maximum? You're like, okay, I'm done. It's too hot, or I'm too sweaty, or do you like just go with it, as long as you can?
We'd normally go ideally go until, you just go till you drop pretty much. It's not, I've yet to pass out from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
Very close a couple times.
Yeah.
But once you're in it and doing it, it sort of takes on a personality of its own because you're in the moment, so to say, and you don't think about it. And after you're dripping sweat. But the most I've been in it for an appearance was the Grand Prix. We were there for 8 hours. I was doing a 2-hour in suit and then out.
Oh, okay.
So that's the max that I've taken it as far as the batteries, how long they last. And I am now learning I need to invest in a Camelback because you can't eat or drink anything once you're in it.
Yeah.
So
you're like trying to work around, or you're like, yeah. How many suits do you have? Because I could imagine after a while, wear and tear, you're kind of like, this one's done. We got to retire it.
Yeah, I've got about 10 suits right now. Most of them are beat up or in some way.
Yeah.
Because most of the things we do are just hoping, will this one make it through, 2 videos, 3 videos, or like the Halloween video I just did. It was I dove through the first jump bounce house, whatever thing it was, come up, whole arms ripped on the side. Great. Here we go. So it's back to the tape job and just keep moving with it.
Yeah.
But my neighbor's actually sews, so she'll stitch up my costumes a lot. I'll take them over to her, bring them back.
Sweet.
Keeping her in business over there. No.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And, I think, it probably looks cool to add a little character to the dinosaur costume, that it's a little beat up, because you're doing these extraneous activities, it's going to be beat up. And I think, it just adds some character to it, some charm.
Exactly. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what it is. I haven't thought about it that way, but it's you're getting closer to extinction, so it's gonna look like a little wear and tear.
There you go. I love the puns. It's like our email correspondence back was like, I've got to dig up that password. I'm like, nice.
That's exactly
nice pun. Yeah.
It's taken over every part of my life, whether I wanted to or not. It's just I'm just accepting it now. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's the same way with the podcast. It's like you almost can't escape it. It's like you're known as that person, and you reach that point. You're like, okay, this is what I am, and this is what I do. Embrace it. And instead of trying to run from it, I guess you could say.
It is. It's sort of a vicious cycle too, because for people that go viral, if they, people are like, oh, I want more videos, this and that. It's like, well, what am I going to do? I'm spending money not to make much out of it, or something. Yeah. And that's what most people don't realize. It's a very, very stressful having content, or it's trying to train your followers into a posting pattern where once a week, twice a week, try and broaden that gap. But like you said, it just takes over. Whether you want it to or not, you're always thinking about it, you're always into it, and then but in the end, you get that relief, you get that laughter, or whatever you're doing with it, and it's all worth it in the end, which is the best part.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point about the fact that people think, oh, you've got you're at like 100,000 plus followers. People just must be giving you money. It's like, no, not really. That number is, impressive, but it's not like all of a sudden you hit like 100,000 followers and they're like, here is cash,
that's exactly.
Have at it. It's like, no, it costs money to, shoot the videos. It costs money to buy the suits, then there's the editing, and it's like it adds up after a while. And, I think people sometimes just don't understand that, because people are like, oh, the podcast. It's like, yeah, I've got to edit the podcast, I've got to find guests, and all that, and there's costs. And
it's so true.
And then people are like, why did you do this quick enough? I'm like, I'm just one person, leave me alone. But then you get those other comments from people like, oh, what you're doing is awesome. You're like, thank you, I needed that.
Yes, I received a ton of positive feedback and letters, and I I can't thank the followers enough, because a lot of people send me so much love. You rarely get any hate messages of people just trying to troll you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I get so much love out of that, and that's what's like, oh, it's great. It's that feel good, moment where you're like, this is all, worth it. It keeps you going.
It does keep you going for sure.
Because, like you said, you hit 100,000 followers, or something, or however many you hit. It's not like Willy Wonka gives you a golden ticket, and next thing you know, you're buying a Ferrari or something.
Yeah, living that high life, dinosaur life, and it's like, no, I mean,
exactly.
You're hoping to get to that point. It'd be nice that you get enough followers where they're like, here's a Ferrari. You're like, score.
Yes, that's what it is. Can someone please just hand me one so I can just say, all right, I got it. You know?
And that'd be a cool video. Ralph driving around in a Ferrari.
I would be in. That would be very mysterious. People will wonder.
Yeah, yeah. They'd be like, come on, Ferrari, hook us up. It's free advertising. Come on, guys. But,
I know that.
Yeah,
I love that too, though. I get a bunch of stuff, and I actually do use it. Like, I did one for a car wash products, and I have a closet full of car wash stuff. I've got this, that, bunch of random items, which is cool. But it's like, can you guys just send me a Ferrari one time, or
or cash? Yeah,
I know. Yeah, just a nice little treasure chest.
Yeah. I have the same way. It's like I have like 8,000 pairs of sticks. It's like, I'm good, but I appreciate it, but I'm good. Because a lot of times they end up being lightsabers for my kids, and I'm like, oh no, they're crying again. They got hit with a drumstick.
I know you got enough to replace your firewood over there practically too. That's
for sure. Yeah. So where do you see the future of your Ralph the Rex going? What is like what's the the goal, I guess you could say, for
my goal? My goal has always been to do it full time, be on a level with like a Doug the Pug or someone. You see him. Something as easy as that, he does that. Next thing you know, he's on a Super Bowl commercial. Like, it's those big breaks you're always waiting for and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to do it full time, get enough subscribers on YouTube to where, it'll sort of pay for itself there. I can start doing bigger, better things, more advertising and growth. And, because I mean, that's all part of it. People, as much as people hate advertisements, paid posts, you have to do it to survive. It's just a necessity. And, with the internet and everything nowadays, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere without seeing an ad or anything, but that's what keeps it going. It could stop, all at once. And it's like, I'm going to quit putting money into this, or, if I'm not getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to do more corporate branding. That's my goal. I love doing appearances. I haven't quite figured out a skit. I've had a couple halftime show requests, but I mean, that's tough. I could dance around there and do a routine or something.
Yeah, or like try to kick the ball through like a field goal, and but do it in a hysterical way. Yeah,
exactly. Win 20,000. Like,
yeah,
how they have the.
How does this work? Yeah, but it's it's always it's a challenge to find the right groove and to find the rhythm for a pun for the drumming world. And
yes,
I had to throw it in there. I've been holding that one for a while.
That was good. Good.
My wife hates it. She's like, ugh, puns. But but yeah, it's it's a challenge, but it's also that's part of doing this is finding the problems or solving the problems, or not really problems, but finding that fix so you can do it right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is trying to get that groove and trying to find the right media company or publisher or this or that can sort of take you to that next level.
Yeah.
And that's really what's needed as far as in an internet environment. You're only going to get paid so much for your licensing, your views, all of that. It's finding that next branding or who's going to promote you and get you on that level, get you those production deals, this and that.
Yeah.
And that it takes a while. I've been at it for a year, and it started out as nothing, and it's finally, I feel like it's starting to be on the rise how I envisioned it, and it's taken an entire year for that to happen. This whole time it's just been a grind. Then you get you get a bone throw to you a little bit, another bone throw, all that, and then. But it's still, I feel like it's climbing still, but it has taken a year to get to where I now feel like, this has opportunity. This has, the potential to be something greater.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and back to the advertising thing for a second, it's like it usually with Facebook or, it's the sponsored post, but with YouTube, it's like a 15-second ad sometimes, maybe 30 seconds, which if you're watching one video, it's not that bad. to to watch a 15-second ad or a 30-second ad on YouTube versus if you were watching on the television, you would be watching 5 40-second ads or 5 30-second ads. So it's not that big a deal,
Exactly.
But I don't know why people, gripe about it. It's like, come on, it's not, just let it, just watch it and just shut your mouth,
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen. Yeah. But yeah.
That's a good correlation you did too. I didn't even think about that with TV ads too, because those are, what is it? A baseball game, they said 12 minutes of action, of actual players moving, and you've got 2.5 hours of ads and talking. You know?
Well, or
people want.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying people want things instantly on the internet now. You're so used to having everything at your fingertips. 15-second ads gonna ruin your day. It's like that's 15 seconds, but it's it's a now culture and society.
Yeah. Well, and even like if you were watching Happy Gilmore on TBS or something, you've taken a 120-minute movie and you've stretched it out to 2 hours and 30 minutes. Between all the advertising, it's like, but you still watch it, because it's like it's Happy Gilmore. Am I not gonna watch it? So, but yeah, but oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's true. You're always like, hey, I gotta watch that part where he gets the alligator head for Chubbs or something.
Yeah,
it's always, or he's in the batting cage.
Yeah, I ripped that bastard's eye out. And he just falls out the window. It's just a great scene. And
exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time because I know you've probably got some videos to edit, and you're a busy guy.
We've got some. I mean, I'm glad. I love doing this. This is great. And everyone that just heard my voice for the first time, hello and rar. It's
rar.
Nobody see my face. Nobody has heard my voice.
Yeah.
We got another interview coming where I will show my face, so it will be out there soon.
Yeah. I'll have to get a picture of you so I can put like a picture of you and then a picture of you in like the T-Rex, thing. It's like, this is the guy that goes in this, who does the hilarity. Yeah. So, but yeah.
That's the best part though. Yeah. No one really knows who you are. You just kind of just going along with it.
We're lifting the veil on who's behind the outfit,
We are. I struggled thinking about that. Did I want to do that?
Oh,
maybe keep it anonymous. Is it an allure? Or?
I think there is a little bit of an allure to it, to be honest. Maybe not. Maybe we put a kibosh on the whole revealing who you are and just let them hear your voice. Keep them wanting some more,
There could be. They gave me that option. It could be silhouette. It could be live. So I'm still thinking about that.
Still thinking about it. Yeah, there we go. So where can people find you on the internets?
So on YouTube, everything's Ralph the Rex, all one word. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. There's underscores. Ralph _the _Rex. That's the only one that has the underscores. The rest are just Facebook.com/Ralph the Rex, Twitter.com/Ralph the Rex, and YouTube.com/Ralph the Rex.
Nice. Yeah, and you guys check them out because like I said, make your day 100 times better just watching a minute video of you just trashing the drum set, or which in the drum set, we got to talk a little bit about drums. Is that your kit?
Yep.
And do you play what kind of cymbals and stuff do you got on that, or is it just kind of a mix?
It is. I have Zildjian ZBT cymbals. I have a Crash, 2 Crashes of China hi-hats. I don't know the exact. I'd have to go look at them. I'm sorry for not.
No, that's all right.
I was going to do my homework before this. I forgot to.
It's all good. It's all good.
But I have the Prehistoric kit to match the T-Rex, the DW Pacific kit, straight out of 2000 and probably 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I have Remo heads on there, and then Tama Iron Cobra pedals, and just one kick drum, and then I have the Aquarius head on my bass drum there.
Yeah, I remember putting up a post about double kick versus double pedal, and then you commented. I'm like, is this guy a drummer? And I'm like, well, duh, you played the drum set, man. And but when I saw that comment, I'm like, I almost screenshotted it. I'm like, that is so rad. I got Ralph the Rex to comment about double pedals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a win for the day. I know. Sometimes I too forget about that on my personal and my Ralph, or I'll comment on someone's and like, what are you doing? Oh, whoops, sorry about that. Or I'll put it into different words, if I'm in one character or another, and buddies will be like, dude, what was that? Like,
yeah. Well, and I think I screenshotted the day that you started following me. I'm like, I made it.
I made
And my wife's like, "What do you mean you made it? Did you get Tama drums or Zildjian to follow?" I'm like, "No, it's Ralph the Rex." She's like, "Oh, okay." It's like, that's the highlight of your day. I'm like, "Hey, it makes me happy," you know.
Yes, dude, I was the same thing. When you asked me to be on this show too, I was so pumped that somebody actually had interest in me and the story and everything. So this has been awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And love to have you back on in the future, you know. Especially
of course.
Especially when you land that gig where your Metallica's playing and you're running across the stage, you know.
That's my goal. That's my goal in life right there.
Yeah, like just poking him, like, and he just like slaps you across the face or something like that. Like, I made it. Yeah.
I will do whatever. Yeah, that's it. It will be bananas. I went on with Trivium in Hollywood one time. I was amazing, and now they got that on my belt. I'm ready for the big time.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so awesome to see, like, you just like in the pit, or they like crowd surfing with, you know, the suit on, and people are like, "Yeah, Ralph, the Rex is on." Yeah.
People are loving it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Going in the pit was one of the dangerous things, I guess. Or everyone was cool, but you can't see in that thing at all.
Yeah,
and it's hot and sweaty. You caught an elbow. People think your head's at the top, but your head is in the neck.
Yeah,
so
it's in the neck.
Everyone's pushing you in your actual head, and you're just like, stop. I'm trying to find your way out.
It's like, it's like, do I get hazard pay for this? Yeah.
I know exactly, the insurance policy somewhere or something.
Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you being on. I think my listeners will that's what I like doing about this podcast. It doesn't have to be, a drummer or like a company. Let's talk to other people, because they have points of view, and this is not written in stone that we can't talk about anything else but drums. It's like, no, we can talk about stuff like this.
Yeah, plenty related to drums, music, everything. No matter what people are doing, music
it all
intertwines there.
Yeah, for sure. It all intertwines. So, appreciate you being on. So, I'll see you guys. So, bye.
All right.
Bye, Ralph.
Rawr. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone listening, too. Yeah. And we'll see you soon for the next adventures.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Let me just stop it real quick.